Most pistol caliber carbines look impressive on day one. Then the problems start. Failures to feed, rough recoil, cheap parts wearing out, and designs that feel great in ads but disappointing on the range. Yet a small group of PCCs did the opposite. They kept running, kept earning trust, and kept making owners wonder why they ever bought anything else. In a market flooded with hype, these are the rare platforms shooters continue recommending after thousands of rounds, hard use, and real side-by-side comparisons. Low recoil, affordable ammo, compact handling, and serious reliability made this category explode, but only a few truly rose above the noise. Some names on today's list are expected, others will surprise you, and one legendary platform still dominates despite decades of challengers trying to take its crown. If you think you already know the best PCCs on the market, stay with me, because this ranking may change your mind before we reach the top. Starting off with number 15, the Angstadt Arms UDP9 kicks off this list because it perfectly represents the kind of PCC that serious shooters respect, even if casual buyers often overlook it. In a market filled with flashy names and mass-produced carbines, the UDP9 earns its place by delivering real performance, premium build quality, and reliability that holds up after the excitement of a new purchase fades. That matters for a video focused on the best PCCs people continue trusting, because this platform has built a loyal following through results, not hype. Angstadt Arms designed the UDP9 as a dedicated pistol caliber carbine from the ground up, instead of adapting a standard rifle lower and forcing it to work. That gives it an immediate advantage in magazine geometry, bolt travel, recoil balance, and feeding consistency. It uses Glock pattern magazines, which is a huge benefit for owners already carrying Glock pistols, since one magazine ecosystem can support both handgun and carbine use. The controls remain familiar to AR users with standard charging handle placement, selector layout, and overall ergonomics, making transition time nearly effortless. Most popular compact configurations use a 6-inch barrel, though other lengths exist, with an overall length depending on brace or stock. Setup generally landing in the compact, personal defense category. Weight usually stays manageable at around 5 pounds, helping it feel lively in the hands without becoming front-heavy. One of the first things owners notice is how refined the gun feels. The receivers are precisely machined, tolerances are tight, and the finish quality feels closer to a boutique custom build than a budget production gun. This is not the kind of PCC that rattles when shaken, or feels rough around the edges. On the range, the UDP9 has developed a strong reputation for smooth cycling, solid accuracy, and dependable function across different ammunition types. Recoil is mild and predictable, allowing faster follow-up shots and easy control for newer shooters. Accuracy is another pleasant surprise, with many users reporting tight groups at common PCC distances thanks to the stable platform and quality barrel work. The threaded muzzle also gives owners room for suppressors or muzzle devices, adding versatility. As for downsides, the main one is price. Depending on model and configuration, current market pricing often falls between $1,400 and $1,900, which places it above entry-level PCC options. Some buyers may also prefer a more mainstream brand name with wider dealer presence, but that premium cost often saves money later, because owners are not replacing triggers, receivers, handguards, or internals trying to upgrade a cheaper gun into something better. The UDP9 already arrives feeling complete. That is exactly why it belongs on this list. It is one of those rare carbines that experienced shooters keep recommending after thousands of rounds because it combines compact size, proven magazine compatibility, refined engineering, and dependable long-term use. It may not be the loudest name in the room, but it is often one of the smartest choices. Coming in at number 14, the Kel-Tec Sub 2000 Gen 3 earns its place on this list the moment you understand the title of this video, because very few PCCs have built such a loyal following with so few true complaints from real owners. This carbine was never created to be flashy, expensive, or overbuilt. It was designed around one practical mission: give shooters a reliable pistol caliber carbine that can fold small enough to go almost anywhere while still performing like a real shoulder-fired firearm when opened. That idea alone made it famous, but the Gen 3 version is where Kel-Tec finally refined the formula into one of the smartest portable PCC choices on the market. With an overall unfolded length of roughly 30.5 inches depending on configuration and a folded package around 16 inches, the Sub 2000 becomes one of the easiest carbines to store in a backpack, truck compartment, emergency bag, RV drawer, or discreet travel case. Weight stays impressively low at about 4.2 pounds unloaded, which means carrying it for long periods is effortless compared with heavier steel-heavy competitors. The 16.15-inch barrel gives 9mm ammunition, noticeably better velocity than most handguns, helping improve terminal performance, flatter trajectory, and practical range while still staying compact. Gen 3's biggest upgrade is the redesigned rotating forend that allows optics to remain mounted while the gun folds, solving one of the largest criticisms aimed at previous generations. That single improvement alone is a major reason this model deserves inclusion in a zero-complaints style ranking. And earlier versions forced compromises with red dots, while this one finally gives shooters portability without sacrificing sight setup. Magazine compatibility is another huge selling point. Kel-Tec offers versions that accept common pistol magazines, especially Glock pattern magazines, giving owners easy access to affordable, proven mags already used in millions of sidearms. For many buyers, one magazine type for handgun and carbine is a major advantage. On the range, the Sub 2000 delivers mild recoil, fast target transitions, and better accuracy than many first-time shooters expect. It is not a premium competition PCC with matched triggers and ultra-soft recoil impulse, but it was never meant to be. It is a practical utility carbine that works, folds, stores, and runs. The direct blowback system is simple, easy to clean, and dependable with common ammunition. Maintenance is straightforward, spare parts are available, and aftermarket support has exploded with upgrades for triggers, handguards, charging handles, stocks, and optics mounts. Current market pricing usually ranges from around $450 to $650, depending on finish and model, making it one of the best value PCCs available today. The downsides are honest and manageable. Trigger feel is serviceable rather than amazing, recoil is sharper than delayed systems, and aesthetics are purely functional. But those complaints fade quickly when owners realize how useful this gun really is. In a market full of PCCs trying to impress buyers with hype, the Kel-Tec Sub 2000 Gen 3 earns respect through practicality, innovation, affordability, and everyday usefulness, which is exactly why it belongs on this list. At number 13, the CMMG Banshee 9mm earns its place on this list because it directly answers one of the biggest complaints that keeps many pistol caliber carbines from being truly loved long-term: harsh blowback recoil and clunky cycling. While countless PCCs rely on a simple heavy bolt design that works but often feels sharp, sluggish, and overly violent in motion, the Banshee was built to be different from the very start. CMMG introduced its famous radial delayed blowback system, a design that uses a rotating bolt and angled locking geometry to slow the rearward movement of the action, reducing felt recoil without needing an oversized bolt or excessive weight. The result is a platform that shoots flatter, returns on target faster, and feels far more refined than many carbines in the same class. Yes, that is exactly why shooters who actually spend time on the range continue recommending it long after the first purchase excitement wears off. In a video about PCCs with real staying power, the Banshee belongs here because it keeps delivering when round counts rise. Most popular versions feature barrel lengths from 5 inches to 8 inches, though longer models exist, with overall lengths depending on brace or stock setup, usually landing around 23 to 30 inches. Weight commonly sits near the 5-pound range, keeping it compact enough for home defense, truck carry, or fast movement drills, while still feeling solid and balanced in hand. The familiar AR-style controls are another major reason for its popularity. Anyone comfortable with an AR platform can pick up a Banshee and feel at home almost instantly. Magazine compatibility is also a huge selling point, with many versions accepting Glock pattern magazines, giving owners easy access to proven mags and shared gear setups. Build quality is strong, with forged receivers, free float handguards, M-Low-K compatibility, threaded muzzles, and excellent aftermarket support. Accuracy is another area where the Banshee surprises people. Many owners report tight groups at realistic PCC distances, helped by a smoother recoil pulse that makes rapid follow-up shots easier to control. Reliability is generally excellent when properly maintained and fed quality ammunition, which is exactly what buyers expect at this price level. Speaking of price, current market pricing often ranges from around $1,400 to over $1,900, depending on barrel length, finish, and configuration. That is more expensive than entry-level PCCs, but many shooters say the difference becomes obvious the first magazine in. The pros are clear: softer recoil, premium feel, compact size, AR familiarity, strong customization, and serious performance. The cons are mostly cost, and the fact that some budget-minded buyers may not need this level of refinement. Still, for those wanting one of the smoothest shooting modern PCCs available without stepping into exotic pricing territory, the CMMG Banshee 9mm remains one of the smartest choices on the market, and that is why it confidently holds this spot in the ranking. Let's roll in with number 12, the KRISS Vector. Gen 3 few PCC platforms can claim true icon status, but the KRISS Vector Gen 3 earned its place on this list because it offers something most carbines never achieve: instant recognition, genuinely different engineering, and a shooting experience people remember long after leaving the range. In a market full of AR-style clones and safe designs, the Vector stands out immediately with its aggressive futuristic lines, low bore profile, angular receiver, and compact tactical footprint. Typical overall length varies by configuration, with many popular models sitting around the mid to upper 30-inch range when equipped with a stock, while shorter pistol variants remain even more compact. Barrel lengths commonly range from around 5.5 inches up to 16 inches, giving buyers options for home defense, range use, or carbine compliance builds. But appearance alone is not why this firearm made the ranking. The real reason the Vector continues to attract serious attention is the patented Super V recoil mitigation system, one of the most unique operating concepts ever used in a PCC. Instead of allowing the bolt mass to travel directly rearward into the shooter like a conventional blowback gun, the Vector redirects that movement downward into a recessed channel behind the magazine well. That changes the recoil impulse dramatically, reducing muzzle rise and helping the gun track flatter during rapid strings of fire. For shooters running drills, transitions, or fast follow-up shots, that difference is noticeable almost immediately. Gen 3 improved the platform further with cleaner ergonomics, upgraded controls, better ambidextrous access, improved trigger feel, refined handguard geometry, and more useful mounting space for optics, lights, and accessories. Chambered in 9mm, recoil remains soft and controllable, while Glock magazine compatibility on many models adds practical value and easier magazine sourcing. Weight usually falls in the 6 to 7 pound zone, depending on setup, giving the gun enough mass to stay planted without feeling overly heavy. Reliability has improved steadily across generations, and current production models are far more polished than early versions critics complained about. That said, the Vector still has trade-offs. It can be more expensive than traditional PCC rivals, spare parts are less universal than AR platforms, and its unusual balance may not suit every shooter. And current market pricing often ranges from roughly $1,400 to over $1,900, depending on model and configuration. Yet, despite those drawbacks, the Vector remains on this list because it delivers what so many firearms fail to provide: a distinct purpose and a memorable result. It is fast, flat, compact, and unlike anything else on the firing line. Many PCCs function well, but only a few create excitement every time the case opens. The KRISS Vector Gen 3 does exactly that, which is why shooters keep buying it, talking about it, and recommending it years after launch. In a category where most guns blend together, the Vector still refuses to disappear. Sliding into number 11, the Springfield Armory Kuna earns its place on this list because it delivers exactly what today's PCC buyers keep asking for: ish premium feel, modern styling, compact dimensions, softer recoil, and real-world usability, without the extreme price tag attached to many high-end competitors. Even though it is one of the newer names in the category, the Kuna made an immediate impact by offering a serious alternative to the crowded field of basic blowback carbines that dominate store shelves. Instead of following the cheapest path, Springfield built this platform around a roller-delayed operating system. A design long respected for smoother cycling and improved shooting control. That matters because many standard PCCs can feel sharp, bolt-heavy, and overly mechanical during rapid fire, while the Kuna delivers a much more refined recoil impulse that stays flatter and easier to manage. For shooters running drills, transitions, or extended range sessions, that smoother behavior becomes noticeable fast. The Kuna is chambered in 9 mils and built around a compact layout with an overall length of roughly 24.5 inches when extended and around 15.5 inches in folded configuration, making it highly maneuverable in vehicles, home defense setups, or tight indoor ranges. Its cold radial hammer forged 6-inch barrel adds durability and consistency while keeping the platform short enough to remain quick in the hands. Weight comes in at approximately 5.5 pounds, giving it enough mass to stay stable without feeling bulky. Springfield also paid close attention to ergonomics. The side-mounted charging handle can be configured for left or right-handed shooters. Controls are intuitive, and the balance point feels centered instead of front-heavy. Visually, the Kuna looks modern and purposeful, with a clean receiver design, accessory-ready handguard space, and an overall profile that feels far more premium than many polymer-heavy budget PCC options. Another reason it appears on this list is trust. Springfield Armory has a strong dealer network, national recognition, and a customer base willing to try new releases because the brand already carries credibility. That gives the Kuna an advantage many startups never get. Early reactions from shooters consistently mention that it feels more expensive than its expected price range, which is projected in the mid-tier market around the $1,000 to $1,300 range, depending on configuration and accessories. That positions it below boutique imports while still offering upscale features many cheaper rivals lack. The only real downside is that, as a newer platform, it does not yet have the decades-long field history of legacy PCC icons. But what it does have is momentum, smart engineering, practical dimensions, softer recoil, and the kind of polished first impression that keeps buyers talking. In a market where many carbines feel like copies of older ideas, the Springfield Armory Kuna feels fresh while still using proven mechanics. And that combination is exactly why it deserves a spot in this ranking. Breaking into the top 10, the Ruger PC Carbine proves that the most trusted pistol caliber carbines are not always the flashiest ones. And that is exactly why it earns a place on this list of platforms with the strongest real-world reputation. While many PCC models chase tactical styling or premium hype, Ruger focused on building something dependable, practical, and easy to live with, and shooters responded immediately. The PC Carbine became popular because owners discovered it simply keeps running. Built around a rugged blowback system with a dead blow tungsten weight to soften recoil and reduce bolt impact, this rifle delivers a smoother shooting experience than many budget PCC rivals. It features a 16.12-inch cold hammer, forged threaded barrel, an overall length around 34 to 35.5 inches, depending on stock space or setup. Age and weight near 6.8 to 7.3 pounds, depending on model. Those numbers place it in a sweet spot where it feels stable enough for accurate shooting, but still manageable for newer users. One of its smartest features is the takedown system, allowing the barrel and forend assembly to separate from the receiver in seconds. That means easier transport in a backpack, truck bag, or range case without needing a huge rifle case. For many buyers, that feature alone made it one of the most useful PCCs on the market. Another major reason this gun appears in a list centered around respected performers is magazine flexibility. Most models ship with interchangeable mag wells, allowing use of Ruger SR series and Security 9 magazines, while the included adapter lets owners run common Glock magazines. That instantly increases convenience. It lowers magazine costs and appeals to handgun owners who already use Glock pistols. On the range, the 16-inch barrel helps squeeze excellent performance from 9mm ammunition, often producing better velocity, softer report, and tighter groups than shorter PCC setups. Many shooters report reliable hits at 50 to 100 yards with ease. Controls are intuitive with a reversible magazine release, reversible charging handle, cross-bolt safety, and simple field stripping. Maintenance is beginner-friendly, another reason it continues to be recommended so often. The synthetic stock is durable and comfortable, while M-LOK handguard versions add modern accessory, mounting for lights, grips, and optics. Current market pricing usually falls between $650 and $850 depending on trim level, distributor specials, and upgraded models, making it far more attainable than premium imports or boutique builds. Pros include outstanding reliability, easy maintenance, magazine compatibility, takedown convenience, solid accuracy, and strong resale value. Cons include a heavier weight than some competitors and a more traditional appearance that may not excite buyers wanting aggressive styling. But that misses the point of this rifle entirely. The Ruger PC Carbine is here because it wins where it matters most. It performs consistently, stays affordable, works for beginners and experienced shooters alike, and has become one of those rare firearms people buy, keep, and confidently recommend after thousands of rounds. In a market full of hype, that kind of trust is hard to earn, and Ruger earned it. At number 9, the Beretta CX4 Storm earns its place on this list because it is one of the rare PCC platforms that proved great design can outlast trends. While many carbines appear for a few years and disappear, the CX4 Storm continues to be recommended by shooters who care about real function over hype. Beretta launched this platform long before the modern PCC boom exploded, and in many ways it predicted exactly what buyers would later demand: low recoil, compact handling, dependable reliability, magazine compatibility, and a design that feels easy to live with. Even now, the CX4 still looks futuristic with its sleek polymer shell, flowing lines, and clean profile that instantly separates it from the endless wall of AR-style clones. That unique appearance is not just for looks. The synthetic outer shell helps keep unloaded weight around 5.75 pounds, making it lighter than many competing carbines, while the internal layout creates excellent balance directly between the hands. With an overall length around 29.7 inches and a 16.6-inch barrel, the rifle remains compact enough for home defense and vehicle storage, while still delivering strong ballistic performance from 9mm ammunition. That barrel length allows better velocity than a handgun, flatter trajectory, and smoother recoil impulse, giving shooters faster follow-up shots and easier control during long-range sessions. One of the smartest features of the CX4 Storm is magazine compatibility with select Beretta pistol families depending on the version, including popular sidearms like the 92 series or PX4 line. That means shared magazines, shared ammunition, and a simpler ownership experience, which modern PCC buyers now consider a major advantage. Beretta understood the concept years before many competitors caught on. Controls are also highly user-friendly, with reversible charging handle, safety, and magazine release options that make the platform adaptable for left or right-handed shooters. The thumb-hole style stock and natural grip angle make the gun feel intuitive for newer shooters, while experienced users appreciate how quickly it mounts and transitions between targets. Reliability is another reason this gun belongs here. Thousands of owners have reported years of dependable service with little more than standard cleaning and lubrication. The simple blowback operating system is rugged, easy to maintain, and proven over time. Accuracy is also better than many expect, and with quality examples capable of tight groups at common PCC distances. The downsides are worth mentioning. The trigger is serviceable rather than exceptional. Rail space is more limited than newer tactical models, and aftermarket support is smaller than platforms like the Scorpion or AR-based PCCs. Current market prices usually range from around $800 to $1,050, depending on condition, finish, and region, which keeps it competitive with many newer offerings. What truly keeps the CX4 Storm relevant is that it solves real problems instead of chasing trends. It is light, reliable, compact, comfortable, and easy to shoot. In a category filled with flashy newcomers, the Beretta CX4, Storm remains one of the smartest long-term buys, and that lasting respect is exactly why it deserves a place in this ranking. Coming in at number 8, the Aero Precision EPC9 earns its place on this list because it represents something many shooters have been searching for: a pistol caliber carbine that does not feel cheap, unfinished, or rushed to market. In a category full of copycat AR-style PCC builds, the EPC9 stands out by offering the kind of refinement, reliability, and practical performance that keeps owners satisfied long after the first range trip. Aero Precision built its name on precision-machined AR receivers, tight tolerances, and dependable components. So, when the company entered the PCC world, expectations were high. Fortunately, the EPC9 delivered. At first glance, it looks like a clean modern AR platform, but once you handle it, the details become obvious. The billet-style upper and lower receivers feel solid, well-balanced, and carefully machined, with cleaner fitment than many competing models in the same price range. Depending on configuration, barrel lengths commonly range from 8.3 inches up to 16 inches, allowing buyers to choose between compact maneuverability or full carbine performance. Overall length varies by brace or stock setup, but most builds stay practical for transport, home defense, or range use. Weight usually falls around 5.5 to 6.5 pounds, giving the gun enough mass to soften recoil without feeling heavy or sluggish. One of the main reasons the EPC9 belongs in a best PCC ranking is how approachable it is. Anyone familiar with the AR platform instantly understands the controls, magazine release, charging handle, grip angle, and optics mounting system. That means less learning curve and faster confidence for new buyers. Chambered in 9mm and designed around Glock pattern magazine compatibility, the EPC9 gives owners access to affordable magazines, common ammunition, and huge aftermarket support. Aero also improved key areas many low-cost PCC makers ignore, including feed reliability, bolt geometry, buffer tuning, and consistent receiver dimensions. That attention matters once round counts climb. On the range, shooters regularly praise the EPC9 for smooth cycling, low felt recoil, predictable impulse, and impressive accuracy for a blowback-driven platform. The full-length top rail allows easy optic installation, while M-LOK handguards offer room for lights, grips, and accessories without adding bulk. Another major strength is customization. Because it uses familiar AR components in many areas, owners can upgrade triggers, furniture, charging handles, and controls to create a personalized setup without fighting proprietary limitations. Current street prices usually range from around $900 to $1,400, depending on barrel length, furniture, and complete rifle versus pistol configuration, placing it in a smart middle ground between budget PCCs and premium imports. Of course, it is not perfect. Some shooters may prefer softer delayed blowback systems, and others may want a lighter ultra-compact package. But for buyers who want a dependable, attractive, highly customizable PCC from a trusted manufacturer, the Aero Precision EPC9 checks nearly every box. It appears on this list because it gives shooters what so many platforms promise but fail to deliver: quality, familiarity, real performance, and long-term value. Setting the baseline at number 7, the Stribog SP9A3. If this video is about PCC platforms that keep earning respect instead of complaints, the Stribog SP9A3 absolutely deserves its place because it delivers one of the most attractive combinations in the category. Modern design, smoother recoil than many rivals, practical reliability, and pricing that stays within reach of average buyers. Grand Power may not have the same household recognition as massive American brands, but among serious shooters, the Stribog line has become a name people bring up again and again when discussing smart PCC purchases. The SP9A3 is the strongest example of that success. Built around a delayed blowback operating system, this model was designed to improve one of the most common weaknesses of traditional PCCs, like the sharp and abrupt recoil impulse found in many straight blowback guns. Instead of relying only on bolt mass, the SP9A3 uses a roller-delayed setup that slows rearward movement and creates a softer, flatter shooting experience. That means faster follow-up shots, less muzzle rise, and a platform that feels far more refined during rapid strings of fire. For many owners, that difference is immediately noticeable the first time they pull the trigger. The gun typically features an 8-inch barrel in popular configurations, an overall length around 23 inches depending on brace or stock setup, and a weight close to 5 pounds, making it compact enough for tight handling while still stable enough to shoot accurately. The top rail allows optics mounting. The handguard gives space for lights or accessories. And the controls are simple enough for new users while still satisfying experienced shooters. Chambered in 9mm, it remains affordable to feed, easy to train with, and practical for long-range sessions without punishing ammo costs. Another reason this platform belongs on a highly rated PCC list is value. While many delayed systems jump into premium price territory, the SP9A3 often lands around the $1,000 to $1,300 range depending on model and market conditions, making it one of the more accessible ways to get smoother PCC performance without entering luxury pricing. Reliability discussions were mixed during the early life of the platform, but later production updates, magazine improvements, and broader user experience significantly improved confidence in the system. Today, why many shooters view it as a matured platform that offers excellent performance for the money. Its sleek European styling also helps it stand apart from the endless sea of AR pattern carbines. It looks modern, feels purpose-built, and carries its own identity instead of copying everything else on the shelf. The downsides are that aftermarket support is smaller than mainstream American competitors, and replacement parts may not be as common locally. But many buyers accept that trade-off because the core package is so compelling. When you combine soft recoil, compact handling, modern aesthetics, useful rail space, affordable 9mm operation, and strong overall value, the reason this gun appears on the list becomes clear. The Stribog SP9A3 is one of the few PCCs that feels different in a good way, and that is exactly why it continues winning over more shooters every year. Launching the list with number 6, the PSAARV. If this video is about PCC platforms that people keep recommending, buying, and trusting without regret, the PSAARV absolutely deserves its place because it attacks the biggest concern most buyers have right away: value. Palmetto State Armory built its name by giving everyday shooters realistic prices instead of boutique pricing, and the ARV may be one of the clearest examples of that formula working perfectly. This is a pistol-caliber carbine built on familiar AR-style controls, meaning the safety, charging handle, grip angle, trigger placement, magazine release, and overall handling feel instantly recognizable to millions of shooters already comfortable with the AR platform. That alone removes the learning curve and makes training easier from day one. Chambered in 9mm, the ARV offers soft recoil, affordable ammunition, faster follow-up shots, and lower noise compared with many rifle calibers, making it ideal for range use, home defense setups, and beginner shooters who want confidence without punishment. Most common configurations use barrels around 8 to 16 inches, depending on pistol or carbine format, with overall length varying based on brace or stock setup, giving buyers options for compact maneuverability or full-size stability. One of the smartest design choices is its use of CZ Scorpion pattern magazines, widely respected for durability, strong capacity options, reliable feeding, and broad aftermarket availability. That gives the ARV an immediate practical advantage over proprietary magazine systems that cost more and are harder to source. On the range, owners consistently mention that the ARV is simply fun to shoot. It tracks flat, cycles reliably, and feels lively without becoming harsh. The blowback system is straightforward and easy to maintain, while the free float handguard on many models gives plenty of rail space for lights, optics, foregrips, and sling setups. Another major reason this gun belongs on a list like this is customization. Since it follows AR styling, users can swap triggers, stocks, grips, charging handles, optics, and accessories with ease, allowing the rifle to grow with the owner instead of being replaced later. Current market pricing usually lands around the budget to mid-range category, often far below premium PCC competitors, making it one of the most accessible entry points into serious ownership. Of course, it is not the softest shooting PCC ever made, and it does not carry the elite refinement of high-end imports, but that misses the point entirely. The ARV wins because it gives regular people a dependable, modern, upgrade-friendly PCC with recognizable controls and practical magazine compatibility at a price many can actually justify. In a world full of overpriced hype, that kind of honest usefulness earns respect fast. That is exactly why the PSA-ARV appears in this ranking, and why so many shooters see it as one of the smartest bang-for-the-buck PCC choices on the market today. At the starting line, number 5, the Smith & Wesson M&P FPC earns its place on this list because it delivers exactly what many buyers want from a modern pistol-caliber carbine, without forcing them to overpay for features they may never use. In a market filled with flashy tactical PCCs and expensive boutique builds, the M&P FPC stands out by being practical, reliable, and genuinely useful from day one. Smith & Wesson designed this platform with a clear mission: create a folding carbine that real people can carry, store, train with, and trust. The result is one of the smartest PCC releases in recent memory. Its side-folding design is one of the biggest reasons it belongs in a ranking like this. Unlike top folding systems that can interfere with optics or create awkward handling, the FPC folds neatly to the side, reducing its footprint for storage while allowing faster deployment when needed. Folded length is around 16.5 inches, while overall length open stretches to roughly 30.4 inches, making it compact enough for backpacks, truck compartments, closets, and travel cases while still offering the stability of a true shoulder-fired carbine. The 16.25-inch threaded barrel helps squeeze strong performance out of 9mm ammunition, delivering better velocity and flatter trajectory than a handgun, while remaining soft shooting and easy to control. Weight comes in around 5 pounds, which keeps it light enough for extended range sessions and maneuverable enough for home defense use. One of the strongest reasons this rifle appears on a list focused on highly respected PCCs is magazine compatibility. The FPC accepts M&P double-stack pistol magazines and ships with multiple magazines stored directly in the stock, giving users immediate onboard reload capacity. For owners already carrying an M&P handgun, this means shared magazines, shared ammunition, and simplified logistics. That may sound small, but it becomes a huge advantage for training consistency and real-world practicality. On the range, the FPC has built a reputation for being approachable and dependable. The recoil impulse is mild, controls are intuitive, and the grip angle feels familiar to pistol shooters transitioning into carbines. New shooters often love how confidence-inspiring it feels, while experienced shooters appreciate how quickly it can be run from target to target. Reliability reports have been strong with common ball ammunition and many defensive loads. Which matters more than any marketing slogan. The flat-face trigger offers a cleaner break than many expected. The handguard provides ample mounting space, and the Picatinny top rail makes optics setup simple. Pricing usually lands around the mid-hundreds, often between $550 and $700 depending on region and package deals, making it one of the more attainable quality PCCs on the market. Of course, it is not perfect. Some buyers may prefer metal construction over polymer-heavy design, and premium shooters may want a softer delayed system. But those trade-offs are minor compared with what the FPC gets right. It is lightweight, compact, affordable, dependable, easy to use, and built by a trusted brand. That combination explains exactly why the Smith & Wesson M&P FPC ranks so high and continues winning over practical shooters everywhere. Taking the number 4, the B&T GHM9. Once you reach this level of the ranking, average performance is no longer enough, because now the difference comes down to refinement, durability, and whether a platform still feels impressive after thousands of rounds. That is exactly why the B&T GHM9 earns its place on this list of top-rated PCCs people continue praising long after the first purchase excitement fades. Built in Switzerland by Brugger and Thome, a company known worldwide for supplying military and law enforcement units, the GHM9 was never designed to be a budget range toy. It was built with duty-grade expectations from the start, and you can feel that the moment you pick it up. The machining is exceptionally clean, tolerances are tight, controls feel crisp, and every movement from charging the bolt to locking in a magazine feels deliberate and precise. Chambered in 9mm, the GHM9 uses a proven blowback operating system, but B&T refined the recoil impulse so well that many shooters describe it as smoother than cheaper competitors. Fast follow-up shots feel natural, transitions stay controlled, and the gun tracks flatter than many expect from a compact PCC. Standard barrel lengths are often around 6.9 inches on shorter models, while carbine variants stretch longer for added velocity and stability. Overall length can sit near 24 inches in compact form, depending on stock configuration, making it extremely maneuverable for tight spaces, vehicle storage, or home defense setups. Weight typically lands around 5.5 pounds, or giving it enough mass to stay steady without becoming tiring during long-range sessions. One of the standout features is modularity. Many versions accept side-folding stocks or braces. Optics mount easily on the full top rail, and M-LOK handguard sections allow lights, grips, or lasers without cluttering the platform. Reliability is where this gun truly separates itself. Owners regularly report consistent cycling across bulk range ammo, defensive loads, and suppressed use with proper tuning. It runs clean, stays dependable, and holds zero well over time. Another reason viewers rate this platform so highly is confidence. The GHM9 feels like professional equipment, not just another consumer product chasing trends. The downside is price. Depending on trim level and market demand, current pricing often falls between $1,500 and $2,000, or with upgraded versions climbing higher. That puts it above entry-level PCC options, and magazines can also cost more than common alternatives. But buyers willing to pay for real quality often say the difference is obvious immediately. You get Swiss craftsmanship, elite-level consistency, compact practicality, and a platform with serious credibility. In a market crowded with flashy names and cheap shortcuts, the B&T GHM9 keeps winning respect the old-fashioned way by simply performing at a high level every time it is needed. That is exactly why it belongs near the top of this ranking. At the starting line, number 3, the SIG Sauer MPX-K stepping into true top-tier territory. This is the kind of PCC that earns its place on a best-of list because it solves problems most competitors still live with. While many pistol-caliber carbines rely on simple blowback actions that can feel harsh, dirty, and oversprung, the MPX-K was engineered from the ground up around a short-stroke gas piston system, giving it a smoother recoil pulse, cleaner operation, faster follow-up shots, and a level of refinement shooters notice immediately. That is a major reason this platform appears so high in a ranking built around real respect from real owners. It does not just look premium, it performs premium. The K model keeps the package compact with a barrel around 4.5 inches. An overall length depending on brace or stock configuration, typically in the low to mid 20-inch range when extended, and a weight close to 5 pounds unloaded, making it incredibly maneuverable in tight spaces, on the range, or as a backpack-sized defensive setup. Chambered in 9mm, it balances controllability with speed, and many experienced shooters describe it as one of the softest and flattest shooting PCCs in its class. The closed rotating bolt design and piston-driven system help reduce the sharp slap often felt in blowback guns, especially during rapid strings. Add a suppressor, and the MPX-K becomes even more impressive, which is why it has become one of the most desirable suppressor hosts in the category. Controls feel instantly familiar to AR users, with ambidextrous-friendly ergonomics, intuitive magazine release placement, a comfortable charging handle layout, and a full-length top rail ready for optics. The free-float M-Loke handguard allows lights, grips, lasers, and modern accessories without cluttering the gun. Build quality is another major reason this firearm stands out. Receivers feel solid, machining is clean, tolerances are tight, and the gun carries the confidence expected from a flagship SIG platform. Accuracy is excellent for a compact PCC, with many shooters reporting tight groups at practical distances and reliable hits far beyond what most people expect from 9mm carbines. Magazine capacity commonly runs 30 rounds with proprietary translucent magazines designed specifically for the system. Reliability is generally strong when fed quality ammo and maintained properly, and though magazines and replacement parts can cost more than Glock pattern alternatives. That price factor is really the biggest downside. Current market pricing often ranges from around $1,900 to $2,400, depending on generation, configuration, and included accessories, placing it above entry-level and mid-range PCC options. But buyers who spend the money usually understand why after the first magazine. This is not a bargain blaster trying to imitate premium guns. It is a purpose-built performance machine that delivers elite handling, elite recoil control, and elite versatility. Whether used for training, home defense, competition, suppressed shooting, or simply owning one of the most advanced PCCs on the market, the MPX-K continues to prove why it belongs near the very top of the list. Down at the base of the list, number 2, the CZ Scorpion EVO 3S1. If there is one pistol caliber carbine that truly earned its place on a list of the best PCCs people keep recommending with almost no regrets, it is the CZ Scorpion EVO 3S1. This platform helped push PCC popularity into the American mainstream over the last decade because it delivered exactly what buyers wanted at the right time: rugged reliability, aggressive modern styling, easy handling, affordable shooting costs, and a price tag that did not feel out of reach. Originally derived from the Select Fire EVO 3 adopted by military and law enforcement users in multiple countries, the civilian S1 version brought that same battle-inspired DNA to the commercial market. Chambered in 9mm, the Scorpion offers low recoil, fast follow-up shots, and cheaper range sessions than rifle calibers, making it ideal for training, home defense, and pure fun. Most popular pistol versions feature a 7.7-inch cold hammer forged barrel, while carbine variants stretch to 16 inches for added velocity and legal rifle configuration. Overall weight usually lands around 5 pounds to 5.5 pounds depending on setup, giving it a compact but solid feel in the hands. One reason this gun appears so high on the list is simple dependability. The straight blowback system is uncomplicated, proven, and known for running with minimal maintenance. Owners routinely put thousands of rounds through these guns, with very few issues beyond normal wear. Another reason is versatility. The non-reciprocating charging handle can be swapped to either side, controls are ambidextrous in key areas, and the polymer receiver keeps weight down without feeling flimsy. It also became one of the most customizable PCCs ever sold. Aftermarket support exploded with upgraded triggers, handguards, magazine releases, safeties, braces, stocks, grips, optics mounts, and muzzle devices, allowing owners to build anything from a compact truck gun to a competition-ready range machine. The ergonomics are not perfect out of the box, with some shooters criticizing the factory safety selector and trigger pull, but those complaints are easily solved thanks to the massive parts market, Current prices generally range from around $800 to $1,200, depending on condition, generation, and included accessories, which still makes it more accessible than premium imports like B and T or HK platforms. The Scorpion also wins points for looks alone. Its futuristic lines, low-profile receiver, and unmistakable silhouette made it instantly recognizable in gun culture, video games, and online media. But unlike many guns that live on appearance alone, this one backed it up with real-world performance. It may not be the softest shooting PCC today, and newer delayed systems may feel smoother, but very few competitors can match its total package of durability, value, customization, proven service routes, and long-term owner satisfaction. That is exactly why the CZ Scorpion EVO 3S1 remains one of the most successful PCC platforms of the modern era, and why it deserves the number 2 spot on this list. And taking the top position at number 1, the HKS P5KPDW. Some pistol caliber carbines get attention because they are affordable, some because they are trendy, and some because they flood the market with accessories, but the HKS P5KPDW earns its place on a list like this for a far more important reason. It is one of the very few PCC platforms that still commands respect after decades of competition, constant comparison, and real-world proof. This is the civilian legal descendant of the legendary MP5K family, a platform trusted globally by elite teams, security professionals, and serious shooters who needed a compact firearm that simply worked when pressure was highest. That history matters because plenty of modern PCCs promise performance, yet very few are built on a foundation already tested across generations. The SP5KPDW uses the classic roller-delayed blowback operating system, one of the smoothest and most refined action designs ever used in a 9mm platform. Instead of the harsh snap, common with many direct blowback carbines, this system delays bolt movement and spreads recoil into a softer, flatter impulse. That means faster follow-up shots, better control, and a shooting feel. Many owners instantly notice the first time they pull the trigger. It comes with a 5.83-inch cold hammer forged barrel, an overall length around 23 inches depending on brace or stock setup, and a weight just over 4.5 pounds unloaded, making it compact enough for tight spaces while still substantial enough to stay stable in the hands. The paddle magazine release, fluted chamber, rear diopter drum sight, tri-lug barrel interface, and iconic charging handle slap all add to the complete HK experience shooters often talk about for years. Build quality is another reason this model appears in a rankings focused on the best of the best. Welds are clean, fitment is precise, finish quality is excellent, and tolerances feel premium from the moment you handle it. Many carbines can shoot well, but very few feel this polished mechanically. Reliability is where the SP5KPDW separates itself even further. This platform was designed around high-volume use, rapid cycling, and dependable extraction with a wide range of ammunition, and that reputation still carries into the civilian version today. Of course, it is not cheap. Current market pricing often ranges from $2,800 to over $3,500, depending on package, accessories, and availability. I'm putting it well above entry-level PCC options. The downsides are obvious: expensive magazines, heavier steel construction than some polymer rivals, and less modularity than newer rail-heavy designs. But the strengths outweigh those complaints for serious buyers. You are paying for legendary engineering, unmatched heritage, elite-level durability, and a shooting experience many still consider the benchmark. That is exactly why the HKS P5KPDW belongs at the top of a list about PCCs with lasting respect. Newer guns may come and go, cheaper guns may sell fast, but this one remains the standard others are still trying to chase. Pistol caliber carbines have never offered more choices than they do right now. But as this list proves, not every platform earns lasting respect. The best PCCs are not just about specs on paper or flashy marketing. They are the ones shooters keep trusting after long range days, thousands of rounds, and real-world use. Some deliver unbeatable value, some bring premium engineering, and some became legends for a reason. No matter your budget or style, there is a platform here that can fit your needs. Now I want to hear from you. Which PCC would you actually choose? And which one do you think deserved a higher spot on this list? Drop your pick in the comments. If you enjoyed this countdown and want more honest rankings, deep comparisons, and the best firearms worth your money, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. The next list might include your favorite,